Hello. I thought I'd start videotaping some of the recipes that I make, since they're really not recipes, and I just kind of wing it, as my girls know. But I'm going to start, turn that sideways, with a timpano. I think that means eardrum or drum in Italian, but here are some of the ingredients. Kind of just make it up. Here's my big drum I'm going to use. I don't even know where I got this, but I sprayed it with Pam, and then I put a coat of cornmeal on top of it. And I also made my pizza dough recipe earlier. It's Bobby Flay's recipe from Food Network, which I love. I use all the time. 2 teaspoons of salt, 4 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, 1 1/2 cups of warm water, and maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is line my timpano pan with the dough. Won't be that easy to do, but I have this nice, beautiful big dough. And I'm gonna try to stretch it out, at least to get the bottom coated first. And then I could lift it up the sides and stretch it to fill all the sides. I know it's hard to kind of show you what I'm doing. Maybe I have to think of a better system for my phone, which I will in just 1 minute. I have the oven preheating to 375. I'm making this for our trip to LBI Memorial Day weekend, celebrating my oldest daughter's birthday. She's going to be 31. Aw, I remember she was just a little baby. Now she has 2 babies of her own. 2 amazing, beautiful babies that are having really fun being the no-no, even though it's no-na. The oldest granddaughter, Kiara, started calling me no-no, even though I'm yes to her. But that's okay, I love it. She says it's so good. Hi, no-no. Let's see. Kind of not even a recipe. It's more of an assembly technique. I did boil 3 pounds of pasta. I found that if I use a smaller pasta, not like a big rigatoni or anything, it actually is a little easier. I think I made it once with a rigatoni or penne, and I wasn't as happy with it. But let me wash my hands off. See if this works. Here's what this dough looks like here. And I have some meatballs. I didn't make those, but you could. I have some mozzarella balls, bucatini, I think they call them. I have some pepperoni. You could do prosciutto. I have some frozen ravioli. I have all my 3 pounds of rings tossed with some tomato sauce, gravy. I have Munster cheese. Costco didn't have provolone, so I just bought Munster, but I think that'll be fine. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this so you can see everything that I do. I don't have one of those fancy tripods, but I guess I'll explain it and then I'll come back every so often and show you what's going on. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do, I think I'll line the bottom of it with some of the Munster cheese, or if you have provolone, I think that's probably even better. But I know this melts really nicely too. But I just want to do a coat on the bottom of my pan. Like I said, this is not a recipe. It's more of an assembly. But it's fun to have at a party, and I think it'll travel easily. Okay, so I have it lined on the bottom. Now I'll do some of the pasta, bottom layer. Putting it right over the cheese. Apparently I can't do two things at once. I can't scoop pasta and talk at the same time. Hi. Okay. That looks good. And then I'm going to put in some of these meatballs. These were frozen and I didn't have time to defrost them. So I'm just gonna either slice them with my hand or just slice them with a knife. I guess a knife is easier. But I'm gonna scatter them around and I'll show you what I'm doing once I get some more in there. If they were thawed, I would just break them apart as I'm putting them in, because obviously this is no real science to this. I think the movie that Timpano was served is The Big Night, an old movie. You should watch it if you haven't seen it. They owned a restaurant and they made Timpano for a crowd. And theirs was much more elaborate. They put hard-boiled eggs in it, which if you know me, you know I do not like eggs. So I would never ruin a nice pasta with eggs. Although now everybody puts soft eggs or soft-boiled eggs on top of dishes, which I really don't get either. But whatever floats your boat, as they say. I'm layering some pepperoni right on top. And I'll show you in just 1 second what this is looking like. But like I said, there's no real method to my madness. I'm just adding what I have and layering it all. I'm sure it's going to taste delicious. It all cooks together so nicely, and I think that's what the appeal of it is, because the flavors kind of blend. I'm going to put some of these bucatini balls all around here. Those will melt in nicely. I didn't drain these balls. They're in olive oil marinated, but that's fine. It'll add even more flavor. Now, I think I'll put some of these frozen raviolis. These are the spinach mozzarella raviolis. Do a layer of that for the heck of it. These are frozen too. I don't think it matters. But probably if you could thaw everything, it might cook nicer. Every time I make this, it's kind of an experiment, and I kind of just change it up. I'm actually going to sprinkle some of that seasoning pack that came with it on top of those raviolis. And let me show you what I have so far. So the Munster cheese or the provolone, then I put the pasta, Then I put meatballs and pepperoni, and then these spinach and mozzarella raviolis, and the bucatinis on there. Sprinkled the seasoning pack. And now I will put, I think I'll drizzle some tomato sauce. I didn't make my own sauce this time either. I have Victoria's, but if you have a favorite sauce or if you can make it, by all means, that's even better. Which I like to make my own gravy, but I'm just kind of rushing through this. So now I'll do another layer. Did I put everything on? Yep, and I'm gonna do my Munster, or like I said, if you have provolone, do that. Provolone. Munster all over this layer. It's good for a party. It makes a nice, impressive thing. I don't even know where I got this Timpano or this big cast iron skillet or pot, whatever it is, years ago. But it's pretty awesome. And now I'm going to put some of this pasta all over. Spread it around. Then I'll put some of the meatballs. I think I'll leave these whole this time. Spread it around. Sorry, you can't really see. Like I said, these are still frozen. I'm gonna bake it here, and then I'm gonna freeze the whole thing to travel, and then I'll bake it again, heat it through in New Jersey. So I think it'll be fine. And once I use up these meatballs, and I'm gonna put pepperoni. Bunch of pepperoni all over. I would do Italian sausage. I would put, salami. If I had salami, I would have done that. Any kind of capicola, prosciutto. I think anything. Any kind of Italian meat would be delicious. Or just crumbled hot Italian sausage. I'm gonna I'll put a layer, finish all these ravioli. I'm feeding, I think, 14 people, so I'm not worried about having too much food. Italians never worry about that. They worry about not having enough. And I'm going to sprinkle this seasoning pack, which is Parmesan and garlic and parsley, I think. This little seasoning pack that came with that ravioli. Add some flavor. I'm probably going to serve it. I probably will make it gravy for the side to serve on top of it. Then I'm going to add some more of these bucatinis. Is that what they are? I always call them bucatini. Mini mozzarella balls. Put them scattered about. So when you slice it, hopefully everybody gets a little piece of goodness with each bite. And now I'll sprinkle some of this mozzarella cheese on top. Like I said, it's not really a recipe. It's just how you want to assemble it. It's looking good. Now I think, what should I do? I guess I'm going to top it off with some more of these ring pastas. This thing's gonna be heavy. And go drizzle some more gravy. Wash my hands up again. I'm gonna put some more of these little, or I think I'll end it with that. I think I'll drizzle some more gravy on top of this whole thing. And even though I don't like eggs, to eat eggs just as eggs, they are an important part of this because you need something that's gonna bind it all together. So I have 4 eggs in here. Sprinkle that on top, and that'll keep it together, hopefully. I know I've seen it, this timpano you make with a pasta dough recipe, but I've been making it with the pizza dough recipe, and it comes out really nicely and delicious. Now I think I will top it with some more, the rest of this provolone or Munster cheese. And just to use it up. And I guess a sprinkle of, this is pecorino, because I made cacio e pepe the other day for my youngest daughter's birthday. So I had pecorino in hand. But if you have parm, that's delicious, of course. Now, this is what it looks like right now. So now I have to carefully fold over this pizza dough, and I'm gonna stretch it as much as I can to try to seal it all in. Maybe I'll use an egg wash, but I'm gonna work on this to get it all over, play with it for a bit. But I'll check back. Thanks for watching.